Have you ever wondered how your crafting hobby could perhaps become a business and maybe you could turn it into a YouTube channel as well? Interesting, isn't it? Well, I'm joined today by someone who's done exactly that. This is Pam Duthie. Hi, Pam. We'll find
Hello
out more
there.
about Pam in a moment. But just in summary, I met Pam through somebody else's chat and was very intrigued to know how Pam took crafting and selling stuff on Etsy to becoming an actual Etsy expert on YouTube. She's now going to put modest face on and say, "I'm not an expert," but she is. So for anybody who's doing Etsy selling out there, any crafters, anybody trying to build a YouTube presence, I think you're going to be interested in hearing what Pam has got to tell us today. Now, Pam, hello. First of all, let's find out how you got into all of this. So, what first got you into crafting in the first place, and what crafts were you doing?
Well, crafting is a huge one because I've got a crafty mum. So she's been
Ah,
doing craft things for as long as I've been alive, I think. And I've tagged along to craft fairs with her. She predominantly does knitting, but I think like
oh,
many crafters, she gets into cards, she gets into scrapbooking, resin, a
mm,
bit of everything. So she's, expands into a room full of crafty stuff. So I always had that. And I would she doesn't drive, so I was taking her to the craft shops, and just in one of them I saw a little book of felt dogs. It was about needle felting, and I've always loved dogs, and this little book just caught my eye, so I bought it, ordered all the supplies, and started needle felting. So yeah, that's where I got into sticking to one craft. I think
right.
I paint, I draw, I sew, I knit, but nothing I'd spent a lot of time on. But this I really got
Mm.
into.
So that's become very much your main one then, effectively, with all these other little sidelines. A bit like me with the resin, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, so how long ago actually was that?
That was around 2007, I think I discovered the little book
Right.
and started needle felting. Yeah.
So it's a while now, isn't it? And so at what point did you start actually selling, and what was your approach to selling at that point? What was your outlet?
Um, Initially, I started selling quite quickly because I was in a forum for dog lovers, which I was just talking to
Ah,
other dog people, and we were talking about things. And I said, "Oh, I've started doing this," and posted up some of the things that I'd made, and people were like, "Oh, could you make one of my dog?" So that's kind of how I got started. I think I'd barely been doing it a couple of months, and I was so bad at it. But people kept asking me to make their dogs, so I did.
that's brilliant. But I suppose at least in that way you were making quite a volume, so you soon get better at it as well, don't you? And also,
Exactly.
you're probably your own worst critic. I mean, they obviously loved what you were doing, didn't they? But you'd found your ideal audience. Animal lovers. We're all crazy, aren't we? We love to. I mean, people are always buying me things with guinea pigs and cats and fish on. I've even got a great big cuddly toy woodlouse. It's about, I mean, I've gone off the screen. It's over a foot
Yeah.
long, this cuddly woodlouse is that somebody sent me. It's amazing. So, yeah, pet lovers was a great one to latch onto, wasn't it? So, how did that then progress to selling online?
I'd been doing this a little while, and again, this is all round when I'm visiting my mum seems to happen, but we were reading I think we were reading just a crafty magazine, and someone in the UK, it was just surprised that this this was in the UK because at the time no one had heard of selling online on Etsy. But there was an article of someone had started selling crafty stuff and
Hmm.
they'd started an Etsy shop. So both myself and my mum were like, well, that sounds interesting. We're crafty. We want to try, we'd like to try and sell
Yeah.
this stuff because I think anyone who's crafty, not only are you likely doing a lot of crafts, but you have a lot of things that you've made sitting around and you need an outlet to get rid of them so you can make more kind of. So we looked into
Yeah.
selling on Etsy. So that was 2008. I opened my first Etsy shop.
Oh, it's a while now then, isn't it? And how have you actually found that over that period? I mean, I tried it Etsy when I was selling crafts earlier on, and I found it quite a learning curve. So how have you found that progress?
Oh, absolutely a learning curve. When we started, bless my innocent little soul, I thought you just took a picture. You made something, you took a picture, and it would sell. It's not as easy as that at all. I thought that it would, you know, my business would be making things. You just had to get around to making them, and then once they were made, they would sell. But
Mm,
far more of my time was taken up trying to figure out how to sell the things, because you've got to do all the things. You've got to figure out what it is that people want to buy, first of all, and then you've got to make it and make it good. Then you've got to be a decent photographer, and then you've got to understand how to try and market your stuff. So there's a whole
mm,
chunk of things. So it definitely was a learning curve. And over that time period, the thing that's worst for me is things keep changing as well, so you have to keep on learning
mm.
different things. It's a very
Yeah.
different beast than it was in 2008. There's been some big changes.
Yeah, I can understand that. I mean, I've been on YouTube only for just over 3 years properly, and even YouTube has changed so much in that time. So I can imagine that the whole, setup of Etsy, yeah, it would have been progressing all constantly. It must be very hard to keep on top of. So, your next step then, you're obviously doing well with selling things on Etsy. How did you go from that to suddenly becoming some sort of bit of an expert on this whole Etsy thing?
By nearly failing, actually, which is a
Really?
bit of a strange one. Yeah. As I say, I
Mm,
started in 2008 and
yeah.
didn't really know what I was doing. So then I had to
Mm,
learn how to get sales. And at that time, pretty much how to get sales was to sit, Etsy had some chat rooms. So we'd sit in chat rooms, meeting people and buying off of each
oh,
other. It was pretty much as simple as that. But in 2010, everything changed. This is when SEO happened. That you had to
okay.
learn how to do the clever stuff. So what happened was my shop had got to. I wasn't going to be buying a yacht. I wasn't a millionaire, but I was making some sales. I was kind of happy with myself. And then the light switched off. I didn't know what was going on. So this was bumbling along, and it got to, I think it was about 2014, and I was like,
Mm,
look, I'm going to have to either give up here or figure out what's going on. And it was towards the end of the summer. And I thought, okay, what I'll do, I'll try and really learn how to do this selling thing. I'll really look into it, commit the time to it, and see by the end of the year what's happened. So I went on the forums, I asked all the questions, I Googled, I did all the research I could,
mm.
learnt about this SEO thing, took tons of advice, and definitely I think in that last quarter of that year, I made more sales than I'd made in all the rest of my time on Etsy. So
Wow.
definitely made a massive difference. And that was something after I did that, I wanted to give back to the people that had helped me. So I spent a lot of time sitting on the forums, just answering the questions. Like yourself, what you're doing in your community is basically
I suppose.
yeah,
Yeah,
you're just passing on what you've already learned. It's like, okay, other people have helped me get here. I'll spend a bit of time helping them,
that's it.
basically.
You can save people a lot of pain from having to go quite through all of the learning by failing. I mean, we do learn quite well by failing, don't we? It's just a step towards succeeding if we tackle it in the right way. So basically, you're doing an awful lot of homework, a lot of research, and
Yeah.
taking it really quite seriously. And I absolutely love that you're then sharing that out. That's just amazing. But so, how did you go from the being on just the helpful person in the forums to hang on, I could put this on YouTube because that's yet another big leap, isn't it? So how did that happen?
Yeah, the YouTube journey was weird. I started my channel. I should make different channels, but I didn't. I started this Pam Duthie channel. Initially, I got well, she was supposed to be a foster dog, and I thought I could make a YouTube channel. I could make some videos to highlight how cool she is, and then people would want to adopt her. So I was making videos of my foster dog. That was how I started
Oh,
on YouTube. And then I just surprisingly, I liked it. This is one
Mm,
thing. People think you have to be a very extroverted character to
mm.
go online and to do videos, but I found it was not too difficult to talk to this strange light of a camera and just let out all the things in your head. So I kind of enjoyed it. So I did a little bit of crafting as well, and I was enjoying that. And then what happened was around 2016, I was watching a lot of YouTube. I'd stopped watching telly and I just watched YouTube.
Yeah, I'm a bit
So,
like that.
yeah. So all these experts and gurus popped up on my screen. So I started watching them.
Mm.
And while I was watching them, I was just they're saying how to do all of this, and I was like, "This is very similar, like, it's basically the SEO type thing. It's
Mm.
really similar to what I'm already doing for Etsy. So could I
Yeah.
grow a YouTube channel using these skills and teaching people what I've already learnt here?" So that's kind of where it came about.
That's fantastic. So your early videos, because this is very different to filming about a dog or filming your craft, because it's almost like you're filming about the thing. Suddenly you're centre stage yourself. How did you find that change?
Um, to be honest, I didn't do much with the dog. I was just
Right.
making videos. I learnt a few things, a little bit of editing and stuff, and just having fun with it. But sitting in front of the camera, I suppose there's a little step I skipped over,
Oh, go on.
in that I also was actually a driving instructor at the time. So I was used to
Oh,
teaching
right.
people like face to face and talking. So it wasn't a massive step to have the skills to know slightly have the skills to know how to record, a little bit of knowing how to edit, and think, well, I sort of have the skills to teach a little bit as well. So if I put that all together into a package, how does that work
Ah,
out? So it wasn't too bad. If anyone goes back and watches some of my early videos, some of my first crafting videos, they're adorable, but you've got whole bits of like I always have notepads with me. I had my scripts on the notepad, so I would say something and then read the next bit and say something. So most of my takes involve me turning away from the camera at the end to read my next line of the script and
we've all
things.
been there.
Yeah.
I used to have a bit of paper sticking up with, remember to say, like and subscribe. Things like
Oh, I'm still rubbish at that. But guys,
yeah.
remember like and subscribe to Tracy.
I to be honest, half the time I just don't. I just say, "You
Yeah.
might wanna watch this next. This is quite a good one too." And actually that I feel more natural with, and I think yeah, I think it's probably more I'm finding it more successful, to be honest. But yeah, there's all these little things that you learn as you go along. It's amazing, isn't it? It's a hell of a curve. For
Yeah.
me, going in front of the camera for the first time I did it, I'd got no makeup on. Now, anybody who knows me from my former work life, I wouldn't even answer the door to the postman with no makeup on. I'd be dolled up to the nines, and my hair would, I'd always do my hair. I'd be loads of makeup, high heels. First time I sat myself down in front of a camera in this very chair properly, first time I did it properly, it's just me in a sweatshirt, my hair's all over the place and no makeup. And I think having done that, it made me think, well, anything's got to be better than that.
Oh wow, I'm so the opposite. It's like stick some makeup on to get on camera.
Yeah.
Usually I'm in a field covered in mud playing with the dogs.
Well, I spend half my time underneath a car, so it's that's a step that a lot of people find quite scary. But because you'd had that sort of people contact, um, that passing on knowledge, that teaching in that format, I suppose, yeah, it would come that little bit more natural. And having learnt that bit about editing, because that's a huge stumbling block for a lot of people,
Yeah,
I bet that did help quite a lot, actually, probably more than you realised at the time.
absolutely. Yeah.
So your YouTube channel now is looking rather healthy. At the time of filming this, for anybody who doesn't know the background to either of our channels before seeing this, my channel's just cleared 25,000, and I think you're only a few hundred behind me, aren't you? You're close.
Somewhere around that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't remember the exact numbers, but it's in the
I think last time I
20s.
looked, you were close on 24. So So we're in a very similar position, which is quite interesting because I usually find people who are miles behind me or miles ahead. So it's quite nice to find somebody that we're kind of on a par with, and so we
Yeah.
understand each other, I suppose. So
Yeah, race
nowadays,
you to 30 then.
sorry,
Race you to 30.
okay, you're on. So now you've got this YouTube channel that's obviously doing really nicely, and I've watched a couple of your recent videos, and you're presenting it with such natural confidence and authority. Yeah, it's friendly, it's accessible as well. You've got a really nice combination there. How long did it take you to find that natural style once you'd taken that leap into doing that sort of video?
Oh, wow. I couldn't tell you because we're just always adapting. I mean, I remember things like my very first live stream. I don't know if it's still live, but um, YouTube brought out the feature where you could live stream from your phone, and it's the most awkward thing you've seen because you'll know, like, when you start doing these things, it's such a dump of adrenaline. You get so excited because this is live. Now I'm much more, I think just repetition helps you get calmer with things. But that first one, like, literally it said this is live. I spoke about a million miles an hour. Two people
Oh.
came on and chatted and I freaked out. I was like, what do I do? People are talking. And then I think I did about 5 minutes and then I switched off. But then over time, I started to do some longer, just crafting videos. And the needle felting I do, that takes hours to do. So
Mm.
you have to fill in the time basically, because it is, like, you've got a special needle and you sort of stab balls of fluff over hours and it sculpts it. So it's like knitting or something. It's a whole lot of very boring things to watch. So I just had to be chatting and getting to know my community and things. So that got a little more, I got more relaxed with it and more confident with it. I think you learn, people don't expect perfection. They like just to listen to people sometimes. Yeah, you don't have to be
Yeah.
amazing. And people don't necessarily, you kind of have this imposter syndrome thinking that everybody knows what you know. So you're trying to share it. And suddenly it's like, people are like, yeah, yeah, wow, I never knew that. And it's like, really? Oh, wow, I thought I was being dumb. So,
So it is a development over a period of time, isn't it? But I think you've hit the nail on the head there. People don't expect perfection, do they? And I think perhaps if we're a little bit human, and we're not always 100%, that makes us so much more relatable and authentic as well. Um, and I think particularly within the crafting world, because we're not sort of all wham bam showbiz. With the sort of thing that people want to sit down with a cup of tea and relax and watch and learn. Um, and that more natural, real approach, I think it does come over well, doesn't it? So yeah. And I think the other message out of this is just get on and do it because you learn by actually, it's the experience. And they always say, don't they, the YouTube gurus, they say you'll never be ready. Just get it, just press record.
yeah.
That's Sean Cannell, isn't it? You
Yeah,
gotta
he's
just press
good.
record.
Yeah, the better done than perfect is very true.
Yeah, mine are never perfect. And people even like it if you chuck some bloopers on the end, I've discovered as well. I
Yeah.
think they do like that we're human. So that's all worked very well. Now, where do you get enough material for your videos? Because you're talking on a very specific topic. Where do you get those ideas for those videos?
It's an interesting thing that momentum, just doing things builds ideas. I'm sure it's the same for most people with crafting. If you start making things, you start to have ideas for other things. So
Mm,
that was something I did way, way back. I did a couple of the challenges of, one a video a day for a month or things. And I started them. A sensible person would have it all planned out. I just said, no, I have a couple of ideas. I'm just going to go with it. And when
I
you
like that.
do that, yeah, it's terrifying, but as
Yeah.
you start doing it, you start having ideas for things. And also, when you start building up a community, that starts to get a bit of feedback, which people will ask. You look at the questions in your in your chat and in your comments. And the other thing to do, if someone's just starting out, this, you know, this works for like selling online as well. Look at your
Mm,
competitors and see what the comments they've got. So see what feedback is, see what people are saying in the discussions, you know, snoop in their community, see what questions they're getting asked. So if you don't know what to create, see what people are putting in the reviews from your competitors that they wish they made, and make it. If you don't know what videos to talk about, snoop your competitor, see what's working for them, see what they've maybe missed. And then eventually, basically, people come to me with ideas now. I have
mm.
my most popular just now is my Etsy news show, where I cover what Etsy's been up to during the week. I didn't think it would be possible to get enough news to do something like that, but they seem to do something every week just to help my channel. And then other people come in and they, you know, they say, Pam, have you seen this? I'm like, no, I haven't. Thank you. So you end up like, people bring you ideas. It's super cool.
Yeah, I think you've got some that's very good advice. Anybody watching this who's thinking of doing a YouTube channel, you don't have to go rummaging around and trying to, guess what people want, and talk to people, listen to people, go digging around and see what their pain points are, what people are asking, and what's trending and stuff. It jumps out at you because people are asking about it. And you're right, I get people asking me stuff as well. That's where this whole I'm doing a series of videos of Challenge Tracy at the moment, and people are challenging me to all sorts of random things that I haven't done for years, like watercolors and stuff. And it's refreshing. I think community, and you've really hit on it there, community is a massive source of inspiration because you can give and take with a community, can't you? Because you're taking inspiration and ideas from them. You can also jump in and provide them with what they're looking for in terms of a video, but also hop in and just answer their questions in there. And it becomes very much a two-way street, doesn't it? So,
Yeah.
yeah, some
One
very
thing
good
that
messages there.
surprised me so much was, as I say, a lot of things I'm doing is helping people on Etsy. I'm sure we'll cover that in a little bit. I'm jumping ahead, but I I'd seen some other YouTube gurus, and when Google had made some updates, they would just go on and practically just read out what the updates were and put their take on it. It wasn't edited or anything. I thought,
Mm,
wow, I'll maybe try that. So I tried that, and people really seem to like it, especially like in a live or something. Apparently, I don't have a very good poker face, so if I'm disgusted with something, it shows. So
that's
people like
good.
that honesty thing. But I've had the weird thing, we spoke about a little bit about this kind of thing before we started recording, but
Mm.
sometimes when I'm out and about, I've met people who come up to me and they'll go, "This is Pam. This is Pam. She's the one that reads the stuff, so we don't have to." It's like they just come to me rather than have to read the article. They get my sarky take on it, basically.
But that's useful, isn't it? Because you're coming from the point of view of an actual user, and people can ask you questions, and you can actually explain your take on it. So you probably are going beyond just reading it, aren't you? You're bringing it to life a
Yeah,
little bit, and that's quite a big deal. I mean, I must admit when there's an update on anything comes through, I go, I've got to read that. Which is funny because I used to be such a keen reader, but my attention span for reading stuff is like zero. Whereas if somebody will come on and tell me about it instead, it's like, yay, thank you. And also from the point of a user, I think a lot of the YouTube guru stuff, they're talking at this level when actually my brain is down here and I just want to know what button to press and what will happen if I do. So bringing it down to the actual functionality and what it really means to us as users, that's where there's a huge amount of value, I think. So it
yeah,
definitely works. So, should we talk Etsy? What would you say would be your very biggest tips, first of all, to anybody selling on Etsy at the moment? What would your biggest tips be?
yeah.
So many, I know.
Yeah. The first thing is, don't expect overnight success. It's going to take a while to build up for most
Ye
people, and that's okay. Everything is, I'm sure we all know, if you're going to build up social media, it's going to take time before you get any traction. If you're going to build up YouTube, it takes time. We only
Indeed.
see the people who are like totally top of their game. We see those 0.1% of people who make 4 videos and do great, or list one thing and have only been around for 2 minutes and get great sales. That's not usual. I was just going through the Etsy financial report just last week, and just
Right.
doing an average, dividing how much is sold on Etsy by the number of sellers are on Etsy. The average for the last quarter on Etsy, I'll guess how much an average person on Etsy made in 3 months.
£300.
You're
Wild
not
guess.
bad.
Not bad.
$443.
Slightly better, but you're not going to retire on that, are you?
You're barely going to be buying coffee. Yeah,
Mm,
that doesn't even cover a mortgage repayment. But yeah, people are
no.
expecting a retire upon income. And there are shops that'll get there. And I don't say these things to be discouraging or anything. You can get there. Like, this is the average. And there's a load of people who don't put the work in, who start their shop, expect it's going to be easy, and quit within 3 or 4 months. So
Yeah.
that's
Mhm.
bringing down the average. So if you take some steps to improve things, then you can be well above average, but you're not necessarily getting some kind of massive retire to the tax haven islands or something. That's
Yeah.
not, most of us are not going to get life altering money, but we're going to get enabling our crafting
Yeah.
obsession type things,
That's
nice
good if
little
you're at least
savings.
funding your hobby. It's that in itself is a step, isn't it? But I think that's a good message actually for another reason as well, is to know that it's okay if it doesn't take off like a rocket. I know in the YouTube world, I'm in a lot of new YouTuber groups, and there's people posting things like, "Oh, I, s- I've been doing this for a week, and I've put a video out, and I've only got 100 subscribers." And we're going, "That's actually good,"
Yeah, that's
you know.
really good.
So for people who are just getting started and they've only made a couple of sales, if they're taking it seriously and they're doing all the right things, to know that actually, no, you're not failing. You're just on that first step to succeeding, which is a very different thing,
Yes,
isn't it? So I think
exactly.
that's quite comforting for people to know. So what else then? About other than the managing expectations, what else would you say would be let's say your one more big top tip? Because
One
I'll
more.
other than that, we'll direct everybody to your channel where they can learn it all properly.
Oh, that takes to narrow it down. Well, I'll
Yeah,
say the top tip is you have to know what people are looking for. Then that saves you time, that saves you money, that saves you frustration. So if you learn what it is that people are searching for, if you learn how to figure out the trends and everything, you know
Mhm.
what to make before you make it. And once you've made it, you know how to title your product, how to position it. So basically, keyword research, it's not big, it's not sexy, but it definitely helps you out, I
It's the
believe.
solid basics, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
really getting that good grounding so you know what you're doing. And I suppose the whole community thing helps with what people are wanting as well. Like you
Yeah.
found your dog people, that sort of thing. I hit on a niche of putting little model minis in things for a while because I was involved in a lot of car shows. So it
Yeah.
is. I think there's a huge amount about understanding your audience and taking the guesswork out of it by doing that research, by talking to people, by listening. Like you said, keyword research, and then filtering the SEO in with from that knowledge and so on. Um, shall we pretend that some of our audience don't know what SEO is? Search engine optimization. It's getting all those keywords and things like that so that people can find what you are offering and marry it up with what they're asking for, basically, isn't it? So they can actually get to what
Yeah.
they want. Um, now, I know, because you told me earlier that you have a secret weapon as well. It's not very secret, is it? Is it called eRank?
Correct,
Now you
yes.
have to forgive me because I don't do the selling thing, but this is obviously something that's become something that you're very involved in. Would you like to tell us what your connection is and what it is?
Yeah, certainly. Well, eRank, basically going way back to when I started my YouTube channel,
Mm.
eRank was a tool that I was using to help me with my SEO. And when we were talking about how to know what content to make for YouTube, I
Yeah.
thought, well, I could do a tutorial on this. I could show people how I use this tool. So that was just a little something that I was doing. Actually, the YouTube gurus were all telling me, no, you don't just make tutorials on tools for free. You ask them for sponsorship and stuff. But I'm really horrible at marketing and all this kind of thing.
It's
So I
not
just
easy, is it?
I made the video for the tool because I was
Mm.
already using the tool, and they saw my video and they actually put it up in their blog and stuff. So that was my first YouTube video that kind of did well, and I was kind of chuffed. And it gave me a nice feeling. And then over the years, Anthony, who's the founder of eRank, he would message me about. He's like, "Hey, we're working on a new thing. What do you think about this?" And every now and again, I'd make a video showing the things I was using because I was genuinely using it. And then one day he just messaged me. He's like, "Do you want to just work for me?" So, and I actually said, "Hmm, maybe. Tell me." I didn't bite his hand off. I was like, "Don't know. Do I want to
Oh,
work for some?"
playing it cool. I like that.
I wasn't playing it cool. I was like, "Do I actually wanna work for somebody?" So, I've been through a lot with them, but I'm actually one of the managers on their company now, which is actually cool because I've got my community telling me what the problems and stuff are, and I'm able to come in and go, "Do you think we could do a tool that works a little bit like this?" I'm not one of the clever people. I don't design, I don't do anything like that. I'm just literally going, "I think people might like this," and sometimes they agree
Ah.
with me and create it, and sometimes they don't. And
So that
you know,
what you've
I'm,
done there is taken your skills of listening and understanding and building that community thing and applying it to a completely different business, which is remarkable. Sorry, go on. I interrupted there. I was quite
no,
excited.
it's the best way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, what is eRank, which we've talked about, but so it's a tool that was designed. I'll explain a little bit. Anthony, the creator of eRank, his wife was selling jewelry on Etsy, and he realized he had a background in, I think it was like Bing, in the that search engine type thing.
Oh,
So
right.
that was his background. He's like, there's nothing there helping Etsy sellers understand. I think she was going through sort of the same struggles as I was having. It's like, what is
Yeah.
this SEO thing? So he built a tool to help his wife, basically. Um, and that's the thing. At its core, it's keyword research. It's teaching you, helping you find what
Mm.
people are searching for, those keywords that customers are searching for. But it's developed over time. We've got things like a listing audit, which will look at your listing and say, here's all of Etsy's best practices, like a checklist. Are you following all the best practices? Um,
Mm.
and loads of other tools just to help you. We've got things to connect up with Google Analytics, so you can. I don't know if you use much Google Analytics, but it's horrible. It's got all the
I
data.
don't. I
Yeah,
don't. I just use
for
the vidIQ stuff on YouTube, but
yeah.
not Google Analytics,
Well,
no.
you don't really need it for YouTube, but for like your own
All
shop
right.
and stuff, it's got all
Oh,
of the
okay.
data. Not just for Etsy shops, but every kind of shop, website, and blog, and everything. You can connect up all that data, but it's Google, and it's awful. Like every time I was going on to use it, I have to. I made
Dear.
tutorials on how to find things on Google Analytics, so I can go back and watch my own tutorial to remember to find
So
things.
it's not intuitive at all then, or
No. So
overcomplicated maybe?
we've just been working on some tools that basically connects up, takes the data from
Mm.
Google Analytics and shows it in a slightly less annoying way, those kind of things. So yeah, it's
It's
just tools to help, not just Etsy sellers. We've got data, keyword data for things like Pinterest, TikTok, Facebook Marketplace, Google Shopping, all sorts of
wow.
things. But at its heart, it was built to help Etsy sellers, so crafty sellers.
Yeah, that sounds insanely useful. I think if I was still looking to be selling, I'd be all over that like a rash. That just sounds like such common sense, usable stuff that anybody selling on Etsy or any of the other ones that are covered by it, would be daft to not have a look at, really. That sounds so good. So nowadays, then, you're quite involved, obviously, with that. You're also putting out your news, your Etsy selling information tips. It's the whole package, isn't it? So I hope that some of my viewers will hop across and have a look at your material, because I know amongst my viewers on this channel, an awful lot of them are viewers on my crafting channel as well, and a lot of them are selling stuff. So it just seems to me that you would just be a mine of useful information for them, and a friendly face giving it over as well, which is good. So you've now built all this into this rather lovely YouTube channel as well. Can I ask you some practical things about how you're actually doing that? I know I often get asked, what cameras are you using, what lights are you using, all that sort of thing. So what are you filming on? What camera have you got there?
Currently, this is the Logitech Vero, just a webcam.
Oh, cool. And it
Yeah,
looks great.
it's a 4K webcam. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
You can't see them. I have the cameras that I started with up there, couple of Nikons, but
Mm.
no, I'll knock things down if I do that. But
Okay, no, don't do
I
that.
started with a couple of Nikon cameras, which is great, and I love the cameras, but they're photography cameras rather than film cameras.
Oh,
Um,
I see.
and it's just, to be perfectly honest, I found the having to set up, make sure everything's
Mm.
aligned. My first camera didn't even have a flip screen or a monitor or any capability. So I would have to set it up and then come round and record a bit and then go back and go, oh, yeah, I'm in frame, and then come around. So
Oh,
that was an
yes, that's a
absolute
faff.
pain.
Mm.
Yeah. My second camera is really great camera, just it's not a very posh one, has a nice little flip screen. But the problem I found then with
Mm.
that was I was looking at myself. I'm doing that too much here as well, but I'm trying not
And
to.
me. I'm doing the same, and I'm
Yeah.
trying not to. It's
So
hard, isn't it?
gotta look there. So the flip screen, it was great, but I was looking at myself. Another challenge I had with that is the camera batteries only last 20 minutes and they shut off without warning, which, if you're doing a large crafting project, is very annoying. Um, so I got,
Extremely.
even having a battery that you can sort of plug into the mains, the cameras
Mm.
overheat after quite a short time. So I found it easier. I got the Logitechs. I've got one there. I used to have an overhead one. I've got a sort of boom here that I can put an overhead camera on to be able to do top down things as well. And just,
Would you still be using a webcam for the top down as well?
yeah,
Yeah, they're
most
surprisingly
of the
good,
time.
aren't they?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Most of the time I'll do, if I'm filming something sensible and I want nice shots,
Mm.
I'll maybe set up a
Yeah.
camera and maybe have my phone as well, because our phones are better than anything nowadays, really.
Yeah, most of my stuff's just filmed on my phone, even though I've got one of those little Osmo Pocket 3s, which is brilliant for out and about, but I don't find it that great indoors. And
Yeah.
half the time I forget to take it with me, so phone, away you go.
You
Yeah,
can do just about everything on the phone. So
you
yeah,
can.
that's the
Phones and
camera.
webcams.
Yeah.
That's so simple. I think a lot of people worry, "Oh, I'm gonna have to buy all this expensive kit," but I think we're both living proof that with fairly straightforward things, some of which you've probably already got, you can just do it.
Yeah.
What
The
about
only thing,
lighting?
yeah, you
Oh, sorry, go
definitely
on.
need yeah, I was gonna say, you definitely need decent lighting.
Yeah,
I
I'm
can't I've
working on
got
it.
2 soft boxes in front of me. I can't remember, they were just off of Amazon. Um, and then I've got, 3 lights behind me pointing at the wall. So
Mm,
but everything's set up, so I just, when I come in, it's just turn on the 2 lights, turn on the ones at the back. There we go. So,
fantastic. As you can see from my background and my lighting, it's something I'm very much working on. I'm in my dining room at the moment. I'll get somewhere better set up at some point and get nice lighting and stuff. You were telling me about your background because that's amazing.
yeah,
What is it?
it's just a vinyl photography backdrop that I got from eBay or Amazon. It wasn't expensive, about £10 or something, but it's fantastic.
In my head, it was a beautifully hand painted, something really, exotic and expensive, maybe, and it's just a photography background from Amazon.
Yeah,
Marvelous.
it's pinned on the wall with some thumbtacks and That's it. Yep, nothing fancy.
I
I've tried
I
so many
like it.
things over the years.
Yeah.
Tried like having green screens at the background there. Don't do that because you're going to blow up your computer attempting to render everything after after
Oh,
dropping in fancy
yeah.
backgrounds.
I
So,
always found I've got my hair goes fluffy as well, so I get like an out an outline that doesn't work as
yeah,
well, and, yeah, it just gets annoying, doesn't it?
yeah,
So,
green
no, I
screen
love
super
yours,
hard. Yeah,
and obviously you needed something colourful because you're colourful. So it's all very much in keeping with you, isn't it? It works so well, that does. Fantastic.
that's it.
And what about sound? What do you do with sound? Because your
Um,
audio's good as well.
I can't show you because I'll hit the mic, but I have a Rode something or other, a,
Ah,
a decent mic. That is what I'd say. The things,
yeah,
the camera doesn't have to be amazing, but sort out the sound because that's going to turn people off the most, and sort out some
I
decent
agree.
lighting, and that helps your camera
Yeah.
basically.
Well, obviously, I mean, I'm still on this sorting everything out situation, including my space and my lights. My microphone, I hope sounds okay because I goofed. I did. You're so right. I mean, I did a live video on somebody else's channel recently. Well, one was we did a live, and then we did another one that was recorded, but using the live streaming software. And the content was great, and I thought we did a great job. But I got a slight echo, and that's the first thing everybody commented on.
Yeah,
And it's because I mean, I've got a where's it gone? I've got a little DJI Mic Mini that I'm using at the moment, so I hope it's okay. Um, but I really want a nice microphone, and the Rode ones, I think they're what everybody recommends. So there's another message for everybody. If you're going to be putting stuff out on YouTube or any social media, the one thing you do definitely want to consider spending some, at least a decent amount of money on, is your sound.
yeah,
So
but you can build
very
up
wise.
to it as well. Through my
Oh
cameras, I had just a little plug-in. It was the Booyah. They have some pretty good affordable
yeah.
microphones, and it was just a plug-in lav mic, clip-on mic.
Yeah.
So basically, I'd have to put up my camera, plug the mic in, run it all through underneath things, up my jumper, out.
Yeah.
But it gives a pretty good sound, and
Does make
then
a difference.
I upgraded to get a kind of shotgun mic which sits above your camera, and then I just got on the little Rodes. It's not a oh, I can't remember. I'd looked at the podcasters, but they were too dear and they have to be right in your face. So it's just a little one that's just off screen there.
Oh, nice. That sounds good. You'll have to send me the link for that. I want one.
I think I've got an Amazon affiliate link. So
I'll put that in the video. If you send it to me, I'll put it in the video description as well in case anybody else is going through that same thought process as me, because that does sound great. And it's being off camera, it's unobtrusive as well, isn't it? So that's great. I like
yeah,
that.
because I'm using the
Mm,
webcam, like everything's recording, well, sending through my PC. So when I go to film something, I turn on the lights, turn on the PC, ready to go. You're not setting anything up.
no, I'm looking forward to being able to do that when I get my little shed in the garden.
I can't
Because at
wait
the
to
moment,
see that.
well, at the moment, I mean, I'm having to run around and plug things in, and there's a hell of a lot of swearing involved because then this doesn't work and that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Oh, but I'm sure I could improve on this in the meantime, definitely. I want one of those backgrounds for a start. Not like yours, obviously. Don't want to be the same.
Oh, there's tons you can get. They're well worth it.
Yeah,
I
it
have been
does look
tempted
like money
to
well
try
spent, that
different.
does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you get different
Mhm.
like Christmas ones and fantasy castles and galaxies and all
Oh, I want a
sorts.
fantasy castle. I think. So I think it's time to wrap up a little bit and say thank you so much, Pam. I think your story hopefully has encouraged people to think about just how and what they're doing with their crafts. And I know so many of us dream of turning crafts into an income stream, maybe a full-time career or whatever. And I really believe what you've shown here is that a bit of lateral thinking outside of actually doing and selling the craft works as well. A bit like me with my YouTube channel, you with your YouTube, sharing your knowledge. So there's so much you can think of if you. Oh, I hate the saying, but think outside the box.
Yeah. I
Um,
think that, yeah, if you're flexible,
mm,
if you get started, you don't know where you're going to end up. But if you enjoy it and you work on it and you stick with it, it could be pretty cool. Like we've both been talking about how we're out and about and we get spotted in public, and it's weird.
I know. It's really weird. I haven't had that happen since I was at car shows, and our car hadn't long won the Premier Cup and was also being a feature car in one of the magazines, and people were jumping at me and getting me to sign that. And it's like, okay, this is weird. But now to have this happening at my age in the craft world, approaching 60, and you're thinking, why am I suddenly this? Why are people suddenly after my autograph?
Yeah.
It's,
It's
it's quite
really
it's quite
cool.
nice actually. I
That's
do
it,
like it.
and
I
we
love.
can do all this, like, I'm sitting in my spare bedroom just
I
talking to
know.
myself.
I know, it's crazy. This is the thing, and I hope this has inspired people to have a go, because we're quite clearly just ordinary folks having a go, and it's worked because we've learned what we can about doing the thing. We're sharing the knowledge about doing the thing, whatever that is, and let's face it, it's darn good fun as well. I,
Absolutely.
I always
Yeah.
say the minute it stops being fun is probably when we should stop, because I think people can tell apart from anything else.
Yeah.
It's been so lovely talking to you. So what I will do, everyone, is I'll put the link to Pam's channel. Oh, and the microphone, just in case anybody's thinking the same as me. I'll put that down in the video description. You'll also find, if you click on the channel, the video information where it says it's got my channel name, it will also say Pam's channel name, because we'll be using the collaboration feature as well. And if you don't know what the collaboration feature is, I'll recommend another video that you might want to watch, because I was live on Kirk Nugent's channel, so it's actually his video explaining it, but I'll link you across to that as well, in case you're thinking, what's she talking about?
I'll have to go and look at that. I've seen it, but I don't understand it yet.
Well, it's another one of those things, a bit like with your videos. We were saying that the YouTube gurus, they talk around it and how great it is and what it means, and nobody was saying what button to press and the use cases. So me and Kirk, we got on it and we made a
Good.
video.
Yeah.
I'll link everybody to that as well. So
Excellent.
thank you very, very much then. And Pam, it's been wonderful talking to you. You're an absolute star. I hope everybody will hop over and take advantage of your knowledge sharing, because even though I don't do Etsy, I've found it fascinating to listen to and watch.
Oh,
And I know you do cover other shopping outlets as well through that, through both your channel and through the eRank. So yes, get on over there, folks. And if you want any more inspiration, ideas, and seeing how people put their very random hobbies and interests onto YouTube or turn them into businesses, then you know what to do. There's a load of buttons down here. Just click things. One of them will say subscribe. Just click that. So I'll see you for the next one, everyone, then. Bye.